Hey everyone, we're back and better than ever. Today we're taking our social media manager to the next level. We're adding image and video uploads, hosting, management, and post scheduling. This update lays the foundation for our full SaaS platform and sets us up for even bigger features ahead. So buckle up, let's dive in and start building. Hey everybody, we're back with part 2 of our social media application that I'm calling Social Streamline, and we are going to start with the composer and actually being able to upload images to Ayrshare. In the last episode, we tried to use the image URL, but we had trouble with that, even though I'm pretty sure it should have been a public URL, image URL, but we're moved past that. We're now going to go into dropping files into the media upload, and we're able to do that now because we have upgraded our social media API that we are using with Ayrshare. So now with this more premium plan, which is a bit pricey at $149, but they have a lot of great APIs. You guys got to check it out. Check out their documentation here. It really does do a lot for us. So we're going to do the upload image and video. We're going to work on that. The video, of course, has some limitations with this API at 30 megs. So we're going to have to use their large media files, but we're going to start with images first. And so I have a prompt here that's describing this JavaScript example that they have here on Ayrshare, and then the success response, very basic response, not as beefy as the other ones that we have dealt with. And we have put that here in the agent prompt. I was working with the assistant. I'm like, no, that's going to be too big. So let's close that for now. So we're going to send this in. It looks a little bit gross because I've put in the code at the top and just kind of described on the composer page. I want to be able to drop in images and be able to upload them and have them preview here and be able to remove them from the post as well. And we'll still be able, so at the end of the last episode, we did actually get a post working. So that was great. So we're going to add on to this functionality, and we're not going to store these images within our own database here within Replit. We're going to use the history function that is already within Ayrshare. They have that right up here, so you can check your post history. So we'll be able to have a history on our SaaS as well. So for right now, this is just for ourselves. This is not going to be a multi-tenant SaaS application yet. You know, that pricing is a lot more. It starts at $500. And I will be just kind of what we call dog fooding this application for the foreseeable future until we're ready to kind of take on more clients. But I'm going to be using this tool heavily for myself, and I encourage you guys to build this out for yourselves as well. It's super handy. I'm going to be doing some cool functions that I want for myself. I hope you guys will like them too. I'm an engineer. I like things to be as dumb and dead simple as possible, and I think I'm going to put in some good features in here. So I'm going to give this to the agent, get cooking on that, and I'll come back when that's all done. Okay, so the agent says it's done with that change. Let's grab an image here. I'm going to do a game monument post as I often do. Okay. Oh boy. Okay. All right. We dropped it in there. We crashed the whole thing. I can't even open up the console. Oh boy. Do we just want to dump this right to the agent? Well, I guess I really don't. Well, wait a minute. Ugh, I wish this thing had a scroll bar. I mean, I don't like just clicking this button because, okay, here we go. If you just click this button, it's just going to make a new chat. I don't like that. I like to keep it my current chat. I like to keep my history. Of course, you can jump back through this history button, but that's kind of a pain in the neck. So let's see what happens. Well, this is inaccurate. This is why I like to take a screenshot of the console and get the error, because this isn't helpful. That just says app failed to run, please debug it. Sure, maybe digging into some behind the scenes Replit stuff that's actually keeping track of more of the logs, but it's not visible to us as users, right? So we need to see what it's actually working on and what it's basing its context off of. So that's something that I don't really like. I wish it did better with that. Yeah, it says, let me check the logs and see what's causing the failure. So it's having to go dig into it itself. And it looks like it is checking the reference error, which is probably reference error with the image drop, which is what we're looking for. Fix issue by adding proper import and removing the require statements. Okay, well, I'm going to let this cook and we can see what the result is and we can give it another test. So the AI claims it has fixed the bug. I realized I didn't click this LinkedIn button too. I'm not sure if that was really the problem, but hey, could have been. Let me go into that picture again. Probably should have had that ready. Oh boy. All right. digging through a lot of stuff here. My bad. Okay, here we go. I got my image here, dropping it. Failed to upload. Please try again. Okay, let's check the console here. Failed to upload media require is not defined. So that is probably a parameter that we forgot to send in or the AI didn't send in. So that's probably part of some of this data formatting that needs to go in. So it's probably part of the headers, something to that effect. So let's throw that into the AI here, into the agent, have it fix that. And for some reason, it didn't copy it. That's one of the things I've been noticing. Like, you can't do Control C. You've got to actually hit copy, which my muscle memory, it's always Control C. So that gets me all the time. I don't know why Control C just doesn't work everywhere. Anyways, I'll work with the agent here and we'll see what we come up with and we'll come back. The AI claims it was missing some imports and I think it was also messing up some other things with their function declarations at the start of one of their Ayrshare packages. So let's see if it got that squared away. You know, we're vibe coding away here. So let's see, we dropped in the file, got a little loading spinner here. Okay, failed to upload again here. Timeout at the social network. Please try to post. Is it trying to post it? It shouldn't be trying to post it. It should just be uploading it. Let's see here. API post scheduled. Wait a minute. Is it publishing a bunch of stuff? Oh boy. Am I publishing a bunch of stuff on my LinkedIn profile? All right, guys, we're scrambling here. See what's happening. It's running rogue. No. These are the posts that I had here before. All right, we're okay. Everything's not burning down to the ground here. It would have been fine. I just would have deleted it. It's not a big deal. But this is interesting, though, that it is having this problem and that this is the output. Let's see. So did I hit paste or did I hit copy? Okay. Actually, I'm going to get this whole thing. Still not uploading correctly. Getting error back. Let's just see what it does with that. I don't want to dig into code quite yet and really kind of go nuts on this. I want to see if the AI can figure it out. I'm trying to vibe this as much as we can. I with a lot of these, well, with everything that I'm trying to build nowadays, I'm trying to really just kind of stay in the true spirit of vibe coding and not whip out the engineering skills too much. Just so it's a good example for all of you to be able to kind of follow along and be able to do this yourselves. That's really the goal of these videos. So I kind of like to trudge through it with the AI, kind of approach from different angles and just kind of see how we can troubleshoot it through these error messages. And I can hopefully give you guys a few pointers from my perspective on how to solve some of these errors. So let's see what the AI does. I'm going to look at this log a little bit closer this time and see what it's actually doing. All right, so the AI switched to base 64 encoding instead of doing it through form data. It looks like, I guess that's better for Node.js to be able to do that. Node.js is a JavaScript framework that typically deals with networking. So let's try our image upload now. Drop it over here, grinding away. Oh, yeah. Uploaded successfully. That's great. Let's still look at the console. Okay, we got 200s. That's great. So HTTP status of 200 is a successful status. That is what you are looking for. So we can look at here at the upload. So 200 success. We should get JSON back like that. So that is cool. So that's probably what this is. I wish this gave me a little bit more. So like a little bit more of a readout here. So if I copied that, I'm going to put this here at the off to the side. Yeah, it's just cut off. So I wish it gave me a little bit more of the JSON or a way to expand it. I wish the console was a little bit better. I'll hopefully be able to give that feedback to Replit at some point. Now, I wonder if I go back over to my Ayrshare profile here, log back in. I have not checked this yet, but I wanted to see if there was any place where you kind of see your uploaded files, but it doesn't look like, not that this really matters, honestly, that there's a way to view that. We probably could get it from, get all media in gallery. So this would probably be how we could get all of our images. You can see through this JSON response here. Yeah, here's the URL for each of these images. So then you could use this to kind of have your own image gallery within your application. So that would be something that we should, beyond what we have right here, that could be something to do. Okay, so we have LinkedIn selected. We've got our post content. We dropped our images here. It actually got rid of that field when I dropped it in there. That's the URL field. That's not a big deal. Let's hit post now. Console here. Okay, publish 200. Awesome. Let's go back to our posts. go back to my profile. I was plunking on LinkedIn while I was waiting for, yep, and there it is. Awesome. So there's all my posts. I'm not seeing it here. I wish this refreshed a little bit faster, but we did see it on our homepage. So that's cool. And I'm probably just going to delete it again. Cool. Great. I'm going to delete this because that may just come up again. I wanted to do that instead of like I've said in the last video, I don't like the whole test post thing. If someone sees something, oh, no, I must have clicked off to the side there. Okay. So we've got image upload working. And we actually do have a recent activity thing going on here on our dashboard. I want to refine this. When I click on it, it actually takes me to the calendar, and you can hit new post. It takes us to the composer, which is correct. The calendar, we'll work on this too and kind of showing off all of our various posts. What I'm thinking is it will be little icons here and here and here down at the bottom, and just kind of that'll be littering our calendar. Maybe if you have more than one post for that day, you could probably truncate it maybe with a number or something next to that icon. I hit, oh, that's interesting. Control B. So it must be related to that icon. That's a new one for me. That's cool. So I would like to work on, I think, the video uploading next. So I'm going to do a little bit more research on that off camera, and I'll come back when I have a plan for that. I'm thinking we will just dig into the API here, but I just want to take a look at a couple things first. So before we get started with the video upload integration, I actually had a question for the assistant, because I found this under the Ayrshare documentation under additional all the way down. By the way, their API documentation is great. It's straightforward. I really like it a lot. Additional MCP server. So an MCP server stands for Model Context Protocol, which in this case would be really helpful to search through Ayrshare's API documentation, their available endpoints and parameters and all of that, and generate code and blah, blah, blah. Lots of great stuff. So I was hoping that Replit could hook up to that. And so I asked about that, and sadly it cannot right now. It more suggests using something as of a desktop program like Cloud Desktop or Cursor. But sadly, right now, Replit is not able to hook up directly to that. I can understand why that would be a bit of a problem. But I also asked about URLs of documentation, which I have done before, but I had mixed results. But it thinks that it can use URLs. So in my next prompt, I am actually adding in a URL to the documentation that we are dealing with, which is the upload large media files. So I have that prompt ready to go here. And I also put in some other limitations, which it could get that from the URL, but I wanted to put that in this. So we have the example code, and then we have the example return, which is pretty simple. Again, it's just the URLs and the content type and all of that. So let's send that in. Let's see how it does. Hopefully the upload video works good out of the gate, but I expect it to be a little bit dicey, especially with what we dealt with images. So the AI says it's done with the video upload functionality. Let's see if it actually is. I read through some of the logs here and what it was busy with, and it seems like it's gotten a lot of this done. So let's give it a try. Let's toss in this is a pretty good size file, 288 megs, and it can handle up to 5 gigs per the documentation. So let's drop it in here. This is a game monument video. So it's our same game monument post as before, test post. So we got a little bit of a loading spinner there. That's great. Let's check the logs here since we're, so this is not the same. This is not the call we're looking for. The auth user, it should be the upload. So we should see this in the log here, but let's just give it a little bit of time because this spinner and all of this there just could be something else going on here, and it's just not outputting the call yet until it gets a response back. So it could be on response that it'll actually give us this output. So like I said, 288 megs, that's quite a bit. Oh no, it didn't refresh. Okay, the upload is done. It says it was successful and did in about 114 seconds. Honestly, that's pretty good for an upload. And let's try posting it. I imagine this will take a little bit of time. It's going to be linking to this file via a URL that it should be in its own S3 bucket of some kind, meaning a file storage bucket of some kind. So I hit refresh here on our posts. on our database. So this is taking a little bit of time. May have to do a little bit of UX on this to make sure that, I mean, this is good. These spinners are good, but we may need to do a little bit more UX on what the user should see, and maybe it locks down the interface a little bit, kind of grayed out. So I can't like hit other buttons. Can't hit the post button again, so that's good. So, but I just think monkeying around with this UI while it's doing the posting may be a bad idea to allow users to do that. So that's something else that we can do. Okay, it says published right here. That's just something really to kind of be aware of when you're building out products. So let's go back to LinkedIn. That's how we do it around here. We do everything live. So there's the post. That is awesome. Guys, I'm super excited about this functionality. This is so great. So you guys are along for the ride with me. Like, I'm building this right in front of you as I'm doing this. I do a bit of research, of course, off camera and outside the studio and all of that, but I really do try to build these products right in front of you as I, kind of get the idea and everything else and what I need to do, because I really do believe in building everything in public and you guys kind of learning along with. Really like this a lot. So that is awesome. That worked. I'm going to kill that post just like we did before. And then let's go take a look at our Ayrshare posts here. I mean, I expect it to be there, but I just want to check it. Yep. So there's our post. There's the post that we did before, both of these being successful. Guys, I know it may just seem like we're just building a wrapper, but with this functionality, we can now have our own workflow doing exactly what we want it to do. Like, I'm super jazzed about this. Okay, so the video post worked with one shot, which that's awesome. But we actually want to schedule posts. So we're not able to do that right now. Here we have the LinkedIn buttons selected, and we have some text here. And I even dropped in an image, but though that shouldn't matter. Should be able to do that without images. Schedule post button is not active. But the save as draft is. Okay, I don't want to mess with that right now. We'll do that next. So we're going to send this into the agent just to kind of expand on the schedule post. If we go back to our API documentation under the post, publish a post function, which we already have implemented, we actually want to use the schedule date attribute here to kind of specify the date, and it has the format here. You know what? I'm going to copy that just for, so I say the documentation, but I'm going to just kind of put in a little bit of a spacer there, put in the format. So we're going to send that into the agent. It's going to grind for a few minutes, and we should have that functionality, and we will give that a test. And then my guess is when we go over to Ayrshare, we're going to see that as a scheduled, here we go, scheduled post, and we will see that right here. So that'll be really helpful. So with scheduled post, we actually need to pick a date in the future, or just pick a date. Actually, the past worked too in my little testing here. So I'll probably have to put some extra logic in there for that. But so we have the scheduled post available now. So we probably had that before. I am going to put this codeless collective image in here. It's actually over 5 megs, and I had a problem with that. So I actually had to put in some extra logic here with the agent to say, hey, we need to use the upload URL API, not the media upload API. I know that sounds very similar because it does, and it is. But that's the one that we use for the videos, and then that worked. So let's take a look here. That uploaded, it looks like. So let's take a look. Yep, upload seems to work there. So I think it got that right. And I mean, that's not a huge change, but sure looks like it did a lot, or at least it's explaining a lot. And we have LinkedIn selected. We have our text. We have our image. So let's schedule that post, and the post has been scheduled. And take a look at this, our calendar. It jumps us over to the content calendar, and it actually has it listed here. So I don't really like how, it's also the resolution of my monitor. I get that, but I don't like how small this is. So I think I may reduce this to icons. And then if we click on it, we could go to some other viewer, or it could just be an overlay of some kind. We'll mess around with that either in this episode or another one. And let's go back to, so it actually did update here, but it says there's an error. That's strange. I wonder why it thinks that's an error. Let's go back to our console. Media files too large. Okay, well, that was what I was trying to change before. So images larger than, it says max size is 5 megs, images 6.09. When I look on my operating system, it lists it as 5,944 kilobytes, which is 5.9 megabytes. So I'm not sure why this is happening if that image is over 5 megs, because I don't want this to happen to us in production or to our users. Let's see. Yeah, so I'll have to mess around with this a bit and see what I can troubleshoot, but this should be working by this logic. So I wonder why this is happening. I wonder if there's either something in the logic here or if there's something just happening. Well, of course, something's happening with Ayrshare, but something's happening before that or while it's processing. Interesting. Media. Yeah, it's still using media upload. Why is it doing that? It should be using the other logic. All right, well, I'll dig into this and come back with you guys with an answer. Okay, so the limitation wasn't a Ayrshare problem. They claim it's because LinkedIn limits 5 megabyte images, which on a Google search, it says that as well. However, when I actually went and used their interface and plopped in the image, it does work. So it's probably some sort of compression thing that LinkedIn is doing for me when I use that image that is clearly over their documented limit. Although this Google search, who knows, maybe you actually need to dig into it with LinkedIn. But anyways, I'm not seeing it there. I'm just seeing dimensions. Anyways, well, it's a problem with Ayrshare. So irregardless of what I find online, that doesn't matter. So it's going to reject it anyways, because it's trying to probably post from Ayrshare to LinkedIn, and then the LinkedIn API is likely rejecting it. I don't think that Ayrshare is holding on to that, but we could test that with a very simple post. So we're going to discard this and go back, and let's go back to our composer. Let's take our usual text, copy that, put that in here. I'm going to pick a date in the future here, as I've been doing. Kind of don't like it that it sticks around after you click it, but so in here you can kind of see that the schedule post is not active. Do I have to use? Oh, no, sorry, didn't select the platform. All right, so let's schedule that. Let's see what happens. Okay, post has been scheduled, and it says there. Let's make sure the server logs. Yep, that looks good. Yep, 200, scheduled 304. Good. So if we go back here, yep, it's scheduled. Let's go start a post, and we go to schedule for later. View all scheduled posts. Now I have a lot of posts that are scheduled out here, so I got to scroll. Actually, I do not need to scroll all the way down. It'd be the 14th. And I don't see it here. So this leads me to believe that Ayrshare holds onto the post until it's supposed to be posted. So it's tracking that, and it should post that itself. What is that? Okay, so this is the actual API request and response. Okay, that's cool. So if we go to scheduled, okay, cool. So here it is scheduled. Great. And so I can delete it here. So what we need to do is actually have the calendar functionality work so that we can pull up the post, and then we can delete it if we want to and have any sort of editor modifications there, but we're not doing that right now. And we may not get to that for this episode, but we will do that soon in another episode if we do not get to it today. So that's looking good. So another piece of functionality that I want is to list all the previously uploaded media that we have dropped within here in the composer. We may change this flow a little bit because we may just want to have a file drop in general, and then maybe be able to access the media in general and just kind of look at it or play a video or something. So we may change that up, but for right now, we're just going to do a get all media in gallery API call, and I'm just giving the URL. I'm omitting all the parts where we kind of bring in the JavaScript or the JSON response, because I want to see if it just kind of goes in and looks for it itself. So that'll be great just to kind of test that out and see how it does with just giving it a URL of information. So we're going to send that in and see if it can figure that out. I kind of expect a little area down here that's like, previously uploaded media down here below the images file drop, because that's what I kind of said here. Didn't really give it too much instruction. I just kind of want to see how it would do with it. So let's see what the AI comes up with. All right, so guys, this is awesome. I love it. I'm already just loving this tool. We got our posting, we got our image upload drop, which, maybe we'll make this a little bit better here. We got our previously loaded media. Click on it. You can hit use and post or delete it. It's great. Didn't take me much to do it. We did the get all media API call. So this is just getting it by the URLs and giving us a preview and a download here. And I suppose I could put a download button for images, but I suppose you could just probably right click and save as, but maybe a little helpful button there would be good. Did run into one error and just was a React error. No big deal. I could clean this up though, that the movie preview isn't giving me a thumbnail at all. So that would be nice to have. So I'll clean that up right now. Let's get a little screenshot here. We'll just say the movie preview in the previously media area. It looks the hatched image. Is there a way for us to get a thumbnail if there isn't a way to do it, let's have a generic movie icon for movie. Probably have to clean that up later. I mean, it does have this unique identifier, but this really isn't helpful at all. And it doesn't have any other identifying data. We may have to add that in, and then that would have to be something in our database to have like a record of what the image is. The movie or image, I suppose, if we wanted to put names to that. And then would just have to have that be part of our UX flow. So we could save this ID and then map it to an actual name and a thumbnail if we wanted to. So that could be pretty cool. Let's send that in. Let's see what happens. Okay, so as I suspected, the movie media upload here, looking at Postman, which is just a HTTP request service that's very handy for hitting APIs that you're working with. And looking at the data, so this is the actual movie media entry, and there isn't a thumbnail. So we would have to make that custom, which isn't a big deal, especially with all these tools that we have. We could add that into our database and put that into the database as like a media table, and we could work with that, and then we could not have just a generic movie icon. So I added in this generic movie icon per that prompt, and we can still click on the movie right now and, download it and whatever. So, I mean, it's better than nothing, but it would be good to have a thumbnail to kind of go, oh yeah, it's that movie. So you kind of can view it. And all these other Colas Collective uploads and this one Game Monument one, these are extra ones because I kept on making posts and kept on uploading it. So that will help us manage this media better. And I think this is a great spot to end this episode for right now, but we're going to get back to it here in episode 3 and keep on adding in functionality. I'm really excited to do it. Well, I had a lot of fun today as we made a bunch of progress in today's episode. In the next one, we will continue adding in features that enable us to save time and manage our social media in a way that we want to do it. If you want to help small creators like me, hit like, subscribe, and join my free school community. The link's in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.